Starting today, Wisconsin residents will no longer pay sales and use tax on electricity and natural gas consumed in their homes.
And to celebrate that change, Governor Tony Evers making a stop in Oshkosh to visit Advocap, a nonprofit community action agency that helps low-income families with housing, transportation, education, and weatherization of those homes. In a First Alert update, Samantha Cavalli spoke with one family who was seeing how lower energy costs can change lives. She's live in our Fox Valley newsroom.
Right, Cammie, after renting their whole lives, Wendy Cable and her husband were finally able to have something of their own to raise their grandson. But they quickly learned it came with some hidden costs.
They built the stairs going down and a new door.
A drafty house, loud street noise, and sky-high utility bills. That's the reality first-time homebuyer Wendy Cable and her husband faced after purchasing the forever home over 2 years ago.
When we purchased it, we didn't really notice anything like that. The more as the year went by with the winters and stuff like that, a lot of air and stuff coming through the windows and stuff.
With utility bills nearing $400 a month, Cable says for a single income household, it was overwhelming.
Something that we had to figure out every month.
On a recommendation from her mother, Wendy turned to Advocap, and what followed was a top-to-bottom overhaul. That work included insulation throughout the entire home, new windows, a new refrigerator, freezer, and furnace. The list went on.
He said he's never seen a house like this before, as much work that needed to be done.
In 2024, Advocap improved more than 460 homes across 3 counties, making them safer, healthier, and more energy efficient. The program also paid more than $2.1 million to local contractors and vendors for the work. Governor Tony Evers visited Advocap to see firsthand how the Home Energy Services program is transforming lives.
And it's not just the money from federal government comes in here. That money is primarily used to identify people, to identify what they need, and then the local contractors come in and do the work.
In just 3 weeks, Advocap transformed Wendy's home, which will help them save nearly $2,500 every year. For Wendy, this means stability and a home her family can finally call their own.
It's been a big blessing. It truly has.
Well, beginning today, the Wisconsin Home Energy Assistance Program can help eligible households with costs during the heating season, which runs from now until May 15th. To learn more on how to apply, you can visit WBAY.com. Reporting in the Fox Valley newsroom, Samantha Cavalli, Action 2 News.